Now, assuredly, we do not deny that an alleged revelation may powerfully commend itself by internal evidence. He who has received such a revelation on its external proofs may find additional reason for trusting it in the consistency of its doctrines with each other, their reasonableness, their holiness, their adaptation to the wants of his nature. Such arguments as these go to make up a great part of the grounds of the conviction we all feel that the Bible comes from God. But this rational conviction can be felt by no member of a church claiming to be infallible. For her first principle is that her teaching shall be subjected to no criticism. A disciple of the Church of Rome is bound to crush down every doubt as sinful, must reject every attempt to test the teaching of his church by reason or scripture or antiquity. Consequently, her teaching can never receive any subsequent verification. The certainty of her disciples can never rise higher than it was the first moment they submitted to her. The pretense of subsequent verification really presents us with a petitio principii in the most outrageous form. "You must believe everything I say," demands the Pope. "Why should we?" we inquire. "Well, perhaps I cannot give any quite convincing reason, but just try it. If you trust me with doubt or hesitation, I make no promise. But if you really believe everything I say, you will find that you will believe everything I say." It follows, then, that all the Church of Rome can promise is what any guide can promise who insists on blindfolding his passengers. "Trust yourselves implicitly to me, and you shall thenceforward feel no doubt or perplexity. You shall never see any reason to make you think that I am leading you wrong. Whatever may be the difficulties or dangers in the path, you shall never perceive any of them." It requires no divine commission to be able to promise freedom from doubt on such terms as these. I could promise as much to any of you. I could tell you all, if you never use your understanding, it will never lead you wrong. If you never inquire, you will never be perplexed. If you take all your opinions on trust from others, you will be free from all the painful uncertainty that attends the task of forming opinions for yourselves. No, if you wish to make sure that the Church of Rome is a trustworthy guide, you must examine her claims before you submit to her. For, as the present rulers teach, he who once puts himself under her guidance abandons all means of verification of her doctrines and has no power of detecting error should any exist. The argument of Dr. Newman's was revived some little time ago by Mr. Mallock. He had been in the habit of publishing articles in magazines in which he criticized other people's beliefs and disbeliefs so freely that it was hard to know what he believed or did not believe himself. At last he published an essay of which the gist was that Romanism alone could make head against infidelity, that all attempts to defend Christianity by argument must end in failure, but that a religion which demands submission without proof may hold its ground forever. For a time, I grant, but certainly only for a time, was ever the cause of Christianity so treacherously defended? If infamous charges were made against my character, perhaps there are some of you who might think well enough of me to disbelieve them without examination. But suppose anyone were to defend me after this fashion. Dr. Salmon says he is a good man, and I earnestly pray you to take his own word for it. For if you permit yourself to inquire into the charges against him, you will be forced to come to an unfavorable conclusion about him, which would be so very uncomfortable for you to hold, that it will be a great deal wiser for you to make no inquiry. Do you think I should be grateful for such a defense as that? Or that I could regard the maker of it as other than an enemy who scarcely took the trouble to disguise his malignity? If this be the best that can be said for the Church of Rome, the peace of mind which he offers is just that which might be offered by the directors of some Glasgow bank, who had made away with their customers' money, but hoped that by bold speaking they might carry on their business prosperously and prevent their accounts being looked into. Recently, an attempt has been made to place the system of Roman Catholic belief on a more scientific foundation. Of this I shall speak in the next lecture. Thank you and good night.